The theme for the 2019-20 economic survey is wealth creation, said Chief Economic Advisor Krishnamurthy Subramanian on Friday, soon after the survey was tabled in the Lok Sabha on the eve of the union budget. This year's economic survey introduces Thalinomics in an attempt to quantify what a common person pays for a thali, a plate of food, across India, he said. Mr. Subramanian stressed that India's aspiration to become a $5 trillion economy depends critically on promoting pro-business policy and moving away from pro-crony policy. Also read: Economic Survey 2019-20 highlights, back to Adam Smith's invisible hand. Economic Survey 2019-20 highlights, back to Adam Smith's invisible hand. We have a slowdown in the Indian economy, and part of it is because of the global economy slowing down in 2019, Mr. Subramanian said at the press conference. India's aspiration to become a $5 trillion economy depends critically on promoting pro-business policy that unleashes the power of competitive markets to generate wealth, and weaning away from pro-crony policy that may favor specific private interests, especially powerful incumbents. Government intervention, sometimes though well-intended, he said, often ends up undermining the ability of the markets to support wealth creation and leads to outcomes opposite to those intended. For example, frequent and unpredictable imposition of blanket stock limits on commodities under Essential Commodities Act distorts the incentives for the creation of storage infrastructure by the private sector, movement up the agricultural value chain and development of national market for agricultural commodities. Exports of network products, which is expected to equal $7 trillion worldwide in 2025, can contribute a quarter of the increase in value added for the $5 trillion economy by 2025. This can also enable India to create 4 crore well-paid jobs by 2025 and 8 crore by 2030. The SA said that ease of doing business is key to entrepreneurship, innovation and wealth creation. India has risen significantly in the World Bank's doing business rankings. However, India lags in some aspects such as starting a business, registering property, paying taxes and enforcing contracts. The SA recommended a health index that can be used as an early warning system to anticipate liquidity crisis in an NBFC. If you are tuned into the Australian Open this season, there's little chance you would have missed star players like Roger Federer and Serena Williams. But have you paid attention to the ball boys, girls and the courtside statisticians, dressed in shades of green and blue? They are wearing tshirts made in Tirupur near Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu. But that's not what is special about it. These shirts are made from recycled PET bottles. At NC John & Sons in Tirupur, a total of 188,708 used PET bottles have been used to make 25,000 garments for the Australian Open. For Alexander, whose company has been making sustainable apparel since 2007, this is business as usual. But he does add that he is happy that their work has put them in the spotlight. We got the order from Tennis Australia through one of our customers in Australia, he explains, adding that his company has been chiefly exporting garments to the US and the UK. The team visited us in November last year to ensure that the entire process was green. In fact, 40% of the power consumed is from wind and solar energy. Read the full article here. The Economic Survey 2019-20 projects India's economy to grow in the range of 6 to 6.5% in the next financial year 2020-21, while asking the government to use its strong mandate to deliver expeditiously on reforms. On a net assessment of both the downside-upside risks, India's GDP growth is expected to grow in the range of 6 to 6.5% in 2020-21, as per the survey tabled in Parliament on Friday. Also read: Economic Survey 2019-20 highlights, back to Adam Smith's invisible hand. Noting that 2019 was a difficult year for the global economy with world output growth estimated to grow at its slowest pace of 2.9% since the global financial crisis of 2009, the survey said that the Indian economy slowed down to 4.8% GDP growth in H1 of 2019-20 from 6.2% in H2 of 2018-19, amidst a weak environment for global manufacturing, trade and demand. It added that in an attempt to boost investment, consumption and exports, the government in 2019-20 has taken important reforms towards speeding up the insolvency resolution process under Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, easing of credit, particularly for the stressed real estate and NBFC sectors, and announcing the National Infrastructure Pipeline 2019-2025. Based on CSO's first advance estimates of India's GDP growth for 2019-20 at 5%, an uptick in GDP growth is expected in H2 of 2019-20. The government must use its strong mandate to deliver expeditiously on reforms, which will enable the economy to strongly rebound in 2020-21, it added. On a net assessment, the survey said, upside risks should prevail, particularly when the government, with a strong mandate, has the capacity to deliver expeditiously on reforms. GDP growth of India should strongly rebound in 2020-21 and more so on a low statistical base of 5% growth in 2019-20, it said. The survey added that headline inflation rose from 3.3% in H1 of 2019-20 to 7.35% in December 2019-20 on the back of temporary increase in food inflation, which is expected to decline by year-end. Rise in CPI core and WPI inflation in December 2019-20 suggests building of demand pressure, it said.